Welcome back to Raw Politics. Now, Dutch pre-Christmas festivities descended into violent scuffles and arrests this weekend. The controversy centers on a Christmas character called Black Pete. The Dutch and Belgian tradition involves white people putting on black face paint and frizzy wigs. Opponents say it is racist, but a majority of Dutch people see it as harmless fun. Now, this year's celebrations came days after a court rejected an attempt by anti-racism groups to ban Black Pete from state television. Right, with me now to discuss this controversial Christmas tradition, we have Mark Demismaker, a Belgian MEP with the ECR Group, Shada Islam, the Director of Europe and Geopolitics at Friends of Europe, and Sarah Chander, who's an advocacy officer at the European Network Against Racism. All right, well, I'll start with you. You're Belgian. Is this tradition or is it racist?
Oh, it's tradition. There's no intention whatsoever of racism here. I grew up with it as a child, with this tradition. It has nothing to do with Christmas, really. It's St. Nicholas. It's his birthday on the 6th of December. And it's a tradition that the holy man, he's a good man, he brings toys. He's accompanied by Black Pete. And we were told as a child that that's because he comes through the chimney, and the chimney is dirty, it's black, and so his face is black as well. So it's a bit the story of the bad cop, the good cop. Yeah? St. Nicholas, who is the good holy man, and Black Pete,
but why is it that image that is being represented as good cop, bad cops, as you said? So who's the good cop, who's the bad cop? Yes. Why does it have to be that image? Why does it have to be someone, a person with a black face?
It has nothing to do with color, I think. You know, this St. Nicholas, he's the good holy man who, well, children, when they believe in him, they think he's a real century-old good man. When he comes at home or in public, of course, somebody dresses up and he is unrecognizable. And it's a practical reason as well. You know, he shouldn't be recognized as one of your friends or your neighbors, so they paint him black, and he's the one who can punish punish the children who were not
this perspective,
good.
You're Belgian, and actually majority of Dutch people actually also say this is tradition, but you don't agree with this. That is it racist?
I wouldn't argue with the comment that it's tradition. I think we have many traditions. However, some of them are racist and they have racist connotations.
That's something different.
The image of Black Pete has actually not been that long a tradition. It came around in the 19th century. As you said, it's not just about the blackness of the soot, but there is a curly wig, there is a stereotypical features associated with black people. So there's the use of a big gold earring and big giant lips, which is internationally recognized as a negative stereotype for black people or people of African descent. In terms of whether it's racist or not, we have to also look beyond the intentions of it. Racism isn't just an intentional phenomenon. It's also about the effect. There have been numerous studies in Belgium, academic studies, and also in the Netherlands by the Dutch Ombudsman for Children that have outlined that the prominence of this figure has not only led to negative stereotypes and potential increase in violence against black people, but also negative impacts on children in terms of increased bullying and an increased feelings of a lack of self-esteem. So I think we also have to look beyond what are the intentions of the people using Black Pete, which is also to say often it's for the children, but generally it's perpetuated by adults. Mm-hmm. And we are not looking at the effects of this on black people, people of African descent, who have campaigned for many years now, more than 10 years, more than 20 years in the Netherlands against this stereotype.
Shada, before I go back to you, Shada, is it possible that culturally the meaning given by Belgian people, the Dutch people, to that, or the affinity they have, it's not the same here in Belgium and in the Netherlands as it is in America, where it's very, very sensitive that you just don't do this? Is there an argument to be made in that sense, where the way one relates to what that image represents is different here?
It may be different here, but times are changing here as well. So I don't buy this contextual difference. I think we live in a multicultural society, and as Sarah has said, we have people of all different faiths, different colors living with us. What was not considered racist maybe 20, 25 years ago is now. People are sensitive to this. They feel it. Children feel it. I mean, I have a lot of black friends whose children really do feel it in school when, they turn to and say, well, you'll be Black Pete, you don't even need makeup. It's denigrating. And I think society's in transition have to accept a certain give and take, a certain degree of compromise. You cannot go on the way things were before just because it's tradition. There's some very nasty traditions out there. I'm not going to name them here now, but there are, and we are getting rid of them slowly but surely. And this is one that we have to do in a multicultural Europe.
I agree. Society can change and can evolve, of course. What I don't agree with is the violence with which people who don't agree with it have taken to the streets now. This is supposed to be a festival for children. I see crying children being confronted with violent
But the violence
mobs.
is coming from both sides.
From both sides, and that's not okay.
Yeah,
of course, we can. There's a difference in. Well, there is no racist intention here. I was a child. I grew up with this.
You're a white child.
We were told, he's black
child.
because he comes through the chimney. That's
and then
what
the lips
we believe.
swell up.
But of course, that's not how other people might see it. That's something different. And then I agree we should make kind of a compromise.
So do you think the Belgians and the Dutch should acknowledge that society is changing, the diversity is changing in their
we have to
countries,
respect our traditions, and also people who are new in our society have to learn about our traditions, have to be explained about our traditions, and have to respect our traditions. And we have to make compromise as well. For me, it's not necessary that we depict him like, with curly hair and with big lips and with his earrings. We can just show him with black swipes on his face, and that would be a completely different presentation, I think. That's how we do it. Like past weekend, St. Nicholas and his Pete's arrived in Antwerp, and that's how we did it there.
So do we get rid of it or do we evolve it, where it becomes inoffensive?
I think there is first of all, I would like to talk about what you do when people have issues with this phenomenon. We have to allow for the right for peaceful protest against Zwarte Piet, which we have not had in Belgium and in the Netherlands, where in some cases there have been far-right manifestations against peaceful anti-Zwarte Piet protesters. And we've had a failure of the authorities to protect those people who are peacefully protesting. And so this has not been protected. Then we also have to listen to the groups affected by this, the groups that are shown to be negatively affected by these racist stereotypes, and we have to ask them, what would you think that is a good solution to this? There is an organization in the Netherlands called Kick Out Zwarte Piet, and they're advocating for an inclusive Sinterklaas celebration. So it's not a threat to the tradition. They say that recognize that many children benefit from this tradition. It is a tradition in many Flemish parts of the Belgium and the Netherlands, and they advocate, why does he have to be black? Why do we have to perpetuate this connotation that white is good and black
we have
is bad?
5 seconds, if you can just say your point in 5 seconds.
You can organize a debate about it, but I don't agree that someone disturbs what has to be a festival for children. This is the most exciting moment for the children in a year. And you should not disturb it.
It is interesting that the main defenders of this are adults and not children.
All right,
this is point.
This is definitely a very interesting debate, sensitive debate that we're having now, especially since Christmas is around the corner. All right, after the break on Raw Politics, the Franco-German call for a Eurozone budget. Don't go away.